Welcome back to the vlog. In this episode, we're going over 5 things I've learned as a photographer that have hopefully made me a better person. So, a while back on my Instagram, I asked for some open suggestions on what type of material you all would like to see on this vlog. And my friend Abby, the raddest Abby, frequent collaborator of mine, suggested this topic, and I loved how she framed it, of like 5 things that you've learned as a photographer that have made you a better person. So one of the things that I learned very early on in my photography career, and this also extends to videography and vlogging, is you can't do everything yourself. That is definitely one of those lessons that you learn. So one of the first projects I worked on leading up to my 30th birthday was a project that I called 86,000 Words. And my goal was to do 86 different portraits of different people telling their stories. And that was a ton of fun working on that little project. But that meant I needed to take 86 portraits. I couldn't just take 86 photos of myself, or I really just didn't want to. So that meant I had to reach out and start finding a lot of these collaborators. Abby was actually one of those during that project. As a photographer, you also have to remember that you have so many other types of collaborators, whether it's on a big photo shoot, needing an assistant, a makeup artist, so many other people, and then, of course, the person you're photographing as well. Like, they're as much a part of this as the photographer is. And then with that is also kind of starting to learn and know your strengths and your weaknesses. You know, we all have strengths and weaknesses. You take a self-evaluation and see, it's like, I know that I'm not going to be the quickest and fastest person. I know there are people that are better at doing lighting than I am. They're better at posing. But I feel like I am very good at setting a tone for the shoot and keeping things kind of light and breezy and fun on set. And that's one of my strengths. But it's just starting to learn those strengths as a photographer that also make you analyze yourself a bit more and be like, okay, I think I know my strengths and weaknesses as a person as well. So one of the major things is to know your collaborators' limits and respect those. You know, whether it's, the very basic, not making anyone want to feel uncomfortable on set, which we can go into ad nauseum and probably go into far too much detail, sadly. Or the simple little things or like a model who is afraid of heights, don't take out to do a photo shoot on the edge of a bridge. They'll not be comfortable with that. But also know, as a photographer and as a model, if the photographer is not comfortable with you doing that, don't do that either. Because like, I can't trust you to be respectful of what I want to do, to be respectful of what I'm comfortable of on this shoot, and because of that, it breaks the trust a lot. And then you have the obvious things as well and then one of the bigger things as well with learning and talking and collaborating with new people is always being willing to learn new things and to change things and break habits. As one example, a photo shoot that I'm going to do next week that hopefully we'll be able to do some behind the scenes stuff is with my dear friend Angela Flower, and her and I have been collaborating for a while, and I had an idea for this shoot. It would be an urban fantasy, which we've joked like, oh, that's all we end up shooting is urban fantasy. And I had a few location ideas, and I was kind of honing in on those. And then Angela messages and be like, hey, what do you think about this place or this place or this place? And I'm like, those are so much better than the places I was thinking of. So let's go to those places instead, because I think those would be better for the shoot. And the willingness to change with that and little things. And then obviously also being able to learn, or like I said, learning limits that you have with your collaborators, and then also just being able to learn new skills from these people. And again, with that whole how these are making you a better person is, being able to respect, like, oh, I didn't know that certain phrase or word was offensive. I will now know not to use that going forward. Thank you for letting me know that. And then apologize and know and learn how to be a better person from these shoots. And the biggest thing of all, and the last tip, is just enjoy making the art. That's the biggest thing that I've learned as a photographer, is you're going to get so much more out of your art if you are enjoying it. You're going to get so much more out of life. And this is why, a lot of people, including myself, have been struggling during this whole pandemic. Is just a lot of the things that brought us joy were taken away or spread out multiple times. As I got into on one of my videos, one of the things that I love doing so much is shooting pro wrestling. I wasn't able to do that for nearly a year. And just knowing and realizing, like, I need to find that thing that brings me joy and brings me something that I can be proud of and enjoy. And for me, that's photography. And so being able to get out there, and that's why, as people have asked many times, like, oh, why don't you do weddings? Weddings, I don't find enjoyment from. So I wouldn't enjoy photographing those. Whereas the wrestling shows, the burlesque shows, the pole dance shows, the fun modeling creative shoots that I can do, I love doing that kind of stuff. That is the kind of stuff that I very much enjoy, and that's the things that I want to focus on. So, thank you once again for checking out this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and follow me at Knocked Out Films. Thanks.